Okay, students, this is the new brainstorming activity. The other one is not working. So the research topic requirements page, as you can see here, these are the things that we've already spoken about in class, that you are to pick one country, or you could talk about both if necessary, if you wanted to. A general topic that fits here, and then make sure it's a sociological question that you actually ask. So you want to start with just a general topic that you will use for the following brainstorming activity. It could be something like, you could use one of the images to brainstorm from. Here we have Abby Wambach. So you could use an image, or you could use a phrase, or even a topic to get started. So once you've picked your image or your phrase, now is the time to start doing the brainstorming activity. One way to think of this activity is to think about 20 questions about your topic. All the things that come to mind about your topic. So for today, I've chosen something that was on the news late last night and this morning, and that is that this is from the Boston Globe, this image is from the Boston Globe, and this headline is from the Boston Globe, that it's a yes, United States Olympic Committee chooses Boston for 2024 Olympic bid. So that's going to be my general topic to start with for the brainstorming activity. So as I mentioned, it's a 20-question activity. What happens now with the Boston bid? What kinds of infrastructure will need to be built? I'm just going to keep going here. Who will pay for the new stadiums? Will taxes go up? So now you can see all these other questions that I've come up with. For instance, why do people think the Olympics will bring sustainable job growth? Will poor and underserved people in Boston encounter similar issues to those encountered by poor people in Rio? So you would do the same thing for your own and just do 20 questions. I don't know if I've asked 20 questions at the moment, but I've got a bunch here. So then the task is this. Which of these questions would be the right scope for a 5-page research paper? As we discussed in class, good research questions should be just right in terms of scope, not too big, not too small. They should interest you as the researcher. And you need to make sure other people have studied similar topics so that you have material to look at. And it should not be Googleable. I mean, I know that goes back to the scope question. So I can look at all these questions that I've asked and ask myself, you know, which are my most interested in and which would be best for a 5-page paper. So if I look at this question, you know, why has the public not been able to read the bid for the Olympic Games? That's not really a research question. I could easily find sources on to write a research paper. You know, that's something I could kind of look up the answer to. So in addition, the MBTA, how would they be able to handle all the visitors? You know, who really knows whether I could answer that? So I guess what I would say is, will poor and underserved people encounter similar issues is something I could potentially study by looking at what, over time now when they're going to start releasing plans, where will these new stadiums be built? What kinds of infrastructure will we need? And I think this question, major social issues right now, might be also a good one, and I could research all those things, then I could make an argument about the actual bid. So that's your goal for brainstorming this weekend, is identifying which one of these is the best research question for our topic, and then you take that question and you start doing some research on it. The last step then, and what we're going to do for this weekend as we go into the library on Monday, is map out with your favorite research question, your best question. What areas would you have to actually logically find some resources in to be able to write about and defend your question? So for mine, what are the major social issues in Boston right now? And then I would connect that to the impacts of the IOC bid. Maybe 3 areas: healthcare coverage and access in Boston right now, poverty and education rates, and then what will the impacts of the IOC bid be on these things right now. So that's where I want you to be, so that you already look up a couple of these topics before we get to the library on Monday, so you know the areas you need logically to find resources in. I don't want you to show up and just be Googling things and throwing keywords in. You really need to have specific topics so we can use our time very well. Thanks.